Hello guys, welcome back to Investment Foundations. Thanks that you're here to increase your financial literacy a little bit. I'm Julian Vargas, CFA and your investment expert. And today we are going to see how to calculate the correlation of the risk of a portfolio using Excel when we have more than 3 investments to take care about. So, let's start. Let's start by rewriting the risk formula for 2 investments, always in terms of variance, remember. So, we will have that for the total variance of a portfolio of 2 investments, the formula will be the weight of the first investment squared multiplied by the variance of that investment. In this case, we're going to assume that it's going to be called investment A, plus the weight of the investment B squared multiplied by its own variance. And here is the most interesting part, that you will have to add twice the weight of the investment A multiplied by the weight of the investment B and multiplied by the covariance between those 2 investments. Here is important to remember that if we take this covariance, right, and we divide it by the standard deviation of A and B, remembering that the standard deviation is the square root of the variance, then we will get the correlation between A and B, which is going to be a number between -1 and 1. For now, don't worry much about these formulas now. We will learn how to put everything in Excel. But first, what will happen if we have 3 different investments instead of 2, and we need to consider all the correlations among them? So we will have in total 3 correlations, from A to B, A to C, and B to C. Usually when we have more than 2 assets and we want to see the correlations among them, we will write them in a matrix. This is going to be a square matrix in which the diagonal of the matrix is going to be 1, and outside the diagonals we will have the correlations of assets. So if you're familiar a little bit with linear algebra and matrix multiplication, this part will be a little bit easier to comprehend. So to find the risk of our whole portfolio, let's first organize our information like this. First, we need to have a vector of weights in a row and in a column. This one we will be calling it W. And the one that is transposed or in a column format, we will call it WT. Remember here that these weights represent how my portfolio is invested. How much percentage do I have in each of the assets? Second, we will have our variance matrix, and we will call it capital V. For this matrix, we will have in the diagonal the variances of each of our assets, and outside the diagonal, we will have the covariances between 2 assets. Finally, the total variance of the portfolio will be determined using the following formula. The whole variance will be equal to our vector W multiplied by our matrix V multiplied by the vector in a column format of the weights, which is going to be WT. Finally, the risk of the portfolio will be simply the square root of this variance that we just calculated. And voila, with this formula here, you will be able to calculate the risk of your portfolio no matter how many investments do you have. And now let's jump to the part in Excel. So now it's time to calculate and use this formula in Excel. So to apply this formula, first we are going to organize the information in the following format. First, we have our vector W with the weights of the portfolio. Here, we will assume that our portfolio is invested 45% in asset A, 20% in asset B, and the rest 35% in asset C. Second, we put the same weights but in a column format, and that would be WT. Finally, we'll put our matrix of variance. We will see in a different video how to calculate this matrix using return data from the market. But for now, you should have already a roughly understanding from where this data is coming from. Otherwise, you can go back and check my other videos. In this, as we said before, in this matrix, we will have the variances on the diagonal and the covariances outside it. Finally, to apply the variance formula to the total portfolio, we will use the formula in Excel MMULT, which allows us to multiply matrices. Since we are multiplying 3 of them, we will need to use twice this command mmult. Here, let's put inside the formula mmult, then we will open parentheses, again we'll put mmult, and then in the first one we will multiply, according to our formula, the W vector and the matrix. Then we close the parentheses, so we'll have this first multiplication here, and then we multiply in the second mmult by WT. This here will give us the calculation of the variance of the portfolio. Now, to put it in terms of risk that are easy to understand, we will take the square root of that variance and boom, you have it. The risk of your portfolio right now is 12.05%. So with this number here, you are going to have that your risk in mind. You know how to measure that or to compare that with other portfolios before you get into another investment. So it's really important that you have this risk and you use it and you know what this number means. So, and that's it for today. I hope that you learned a little bit about correlation and how to calculate the risk of your whole portfolio. And if you like the video and you want to share it with someone, please feel free to do it, give it a like, and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.